Do you know who the most dangerous person really is? It's not the loudest one. It's the one who knows everything but stays silent. This is the story of Ethan Carter, a man who broke his silence and changed everything. Ethan Carter was never invisible by choice. He didn't avoid people. He didn't hide from work. Yet somehow, he was always overlooked. At school, Ethan was the quiet student, the one who sat a little further back. Teachers rarely called his name. Classmates spoke over him, finished his sentences, or ignored him completely. He learned early on that being quiet made you forgettable. Years later, school ended, but the pattern followed him. At work, Ethan showed up early. He stayed late. He took responsibility even when it wasn't required. He did everything right. But when promotions were announced, his name was missing. When success was celebrated, someone else received the credit. Not because Ethan lacked talent, not because he lacked intelligence. He lacked visibility. Every night, the same questions echoed in his mind. Am I not good enough? Why does no one notice my effort? Why does my work feel invisible? He watched others move ahead, people with louder voices, stronger confidence, but often less skill. And still, they were seen. Ethan was not. Slowly, that silence became heavy. He stopped raising his hand, stopped sharing ideas, stopped believing his voice mattered. Not because he had nothing to say, but because he was tired of not being heard. Inside him, a quiet war was growing. One voice whispered, "Accept this. This is your place." Another voice fought back, "You were meant for more." But fear always won. Fear of rejection, fear of embarrassment, fear of being ignored again. Years passed like this. Same routine, same silence, same disappointment. Until one ordinary meeting changed everything. During that meeting, an idea formed in Ethan's mind. Simple, clear, effective. For a moment, he considered speaking up. His heart began to race. His hands felt cold. Then the familiar thought returned. They won't listen. They never do. Why bother? So, he stayed silent. The meeting ended, people stood up, and then someone else said the exact same idea, word for word. This time, the room reacted. Heads nodded. The manager smiled. Praise filled the air. "That's brilliant. Why didn't we think of this sooner?" In that moment, something hit Ethan hard. Not anger, not jealousy, clarity. For the first time, he understood a painful truth. He wasn't invisible. He had made himself invisible. By waiting for permission, by hoping someone would notice, by staying silent when his voice mattered most. That realization stayed with him all night. He couldn't sleep, because deep down he knew one thing. Nothing would change unless he changed something. And that night, after years of silence, Ethan Carter made a decision. No announcements, no dramatic promises, just a quiet decision, one that would slowly rewrite his entire life. The next morning, Ethan Carter woke up feeling the same fear, the same doubt. No sudden courage, no magic solution. But one rule was clear in his mind. I will stop waiting to be seen and start showing up. In the next meeting, his heart raced, his hands trembled slightly. But when the moment came, he spoke. His voice wasn't perfect, his words weren't polished, but his intention was clear. The room fell silent. No applause, no dramatic reactions, but something happened that mattered more than recognition. They listened. For the first time, Ethan wasn't invisible. That moment didn't change his life overnight, but it changed him. He decided to speak up every day. One idea, one question, one voice that refused to be ignored. Some days, people still overlooked him. Some days, they disagreed. But he never disappeared again. Weeks turned into months, and slowly, things shifted. People began to expect his input. His name came up in conversations. His ideas were finally credited to him. Not because he became the loudest, but because he stopped hiding. Then came the moment he never imagined. A new project was announced. The manager said, "We want Ethan Carter on this." The same man who was invisible for years was now trusted, respected, and relied upon. Not because the world suddenly became fair, but because Ethan had finally shown up. Years of being ignored hadn't broken him. They had prepared him to value his voice, prepared him to speak with purpose, prepared him to stop seeking validation and start creating value. Here's the truth most people never hear. The world doesn't ignore you because you were weak. It ignores you because you stay silent. Talent without action stays hidden. Potential without voice remains invisible. If you've ever felt unseen, overlooked, or ignored, remember this. You don't need anyone's permission to matter. You don't need approval to start. Sometimes all it takes is one decision, a quiet decision, to stop shrinking, to stop waiting, to step forward even while afraid. Because the moment you choose to be seen, the world has no choice but to notice.